with Around the Town in the South, and I'm so excited today to be with Chef Nick Wallace.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I'm just so amazed. I'm learning more and more about Chef Nick Wallace. He was named one of 2017's best chefs in America.
Yeah, so it's a huge highlight too, all surrounding around Mississippi too. So they have a book that comes out too. So under Mississippi, it's me and several other chefs.
That is so awesome. That's awesome. Right here in Mississippi. He's been featured in Southern Living. I don't want to leave out. He's got so many accolades. He's been on several TV shows. He's been on Comfort Nation on season 2. He was on Cutthroat Kitchen in 2014.
Yep.
He served 5 of the James Beard Foundation dinners that were Mississippi themed dinners.
And it was awesome too.
Yeah, and tell us a little bit about that. Not everybody's familiar with the James Beard.
Well, the James Beard Foundation is one of these nonprofit organizations that chefs really, we really, get to that point of our life. We really want to step into the kitchen. All kinds of amazing chefs from across the world is there putting on all kinds of great talent that they was blessed with. So about 5 years ago, me and about 7 other chefs from Mississippi, that's what the start of kind of having Mississippi attached to James Beard. So we hosted that dinner. Right after that, I wanted to do a little bit more, and I just wanted to be solo. So I got Dan Blumenthal and Mitchell Moore, and we went and created some dinners there that I created the menu surrounded by nothing but Mississippi food, and it was all sold out too.
Well, because Mississippi food's the best.
Yeah, we rock. We rock.
If there's anything we know, it's how to eat.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And thank goodness there's some of us that know how to cook too, so that the rest of us can benefit.
I'm sure you can cook. I'm sure you can cook pretty well.
Yeah, and not like you, but let's see, and you've also just not quite a year ago, were on Chopped, and you were the first Mississippian to win the Chopped Championship.
It was a proud moment. I was on Alton's challenge, which in 2014, when I was on Cutthroat Kitchen, Alton is the host there.
Yeah.
And he beat me up pretty bad. I placed second place, and I honestly had to lick my wounds, and it took 3 years to lick my wounds. And I used to get a lot of calls from Food Network, so I just said, you know what, I'm going for it. And I said, this time I'm not going to lose. I'm not coming back home and losing again. So yeah, I had my first round there. I won with a lot of my grandmother's recipes, and I was claimed Chopped Champion. It was a week-long challenge. It was a lot of great chefs there. A really good friend of mine won the overall championship, but I am still blessed to get Chopped Champion. But I will go back.
Will you?
Yeah. I don't mind the losses,
Tell me, because I'm a huge Chopped fan. I go to sleep every night watching Food Network because the news is not relaxing at all. And it's gotten to where the talk shows even are just too much politics. So in order to just relax and to go to sleep, I watch Food Network every night, which is crazy. But so I love that show. What is the one thing that you got in the basket that you just went, oh crap?
Well,
there might have been more than one thing, but
I think one major one. I talk about it a lot into the schools because the kids always want to ask me about this. It was well, what was going in your mind when you got dried tarantulas? I am deathly scared of spiders. I would easily, call one of the kids or Christine or whoever. If you're here, can you go over there and take care of that? But this spider was trying to.
Big guy here.
Yeah, I know. And then too, I grew up on a farm and love nature and all, but I stay away. So it just seems like they knew that because they give me this can and it was it's dried tarantulas, and you had to taste it. At least as a chef, you want to taste things
because you don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, because you had something else, didn't you? Wasn't it you that had the space something?
Yeah, I
was thinking that might be something you hadn't had before because you hadn't probably been to space.
Marcus Samuelson really chewed me up a little bit because once I tasted the space ice cream, it tasted great. I loved it. It was like dried cotton candy. I loved it. But I didn't chop it up or nothing, and I did my grandmother's steamed pudding, and I put it in there. Alton loved what came out of it because it was like chocolate and all these kind of bits of caramel and all these mint flavors. All this stuff was wrapped in one. And Margaret was like, man, you need to slow down. And I'm like, look, I never used this before. Can you give me a guide? But you can't talk to them about that.
Yeah.
So I just checked it off the list.
That is so much fun. Well, tell me, how did you get started in the culinary world? Just, how did this come to be?
Well, I'm from Elbridge, Mississippi, and around 8 years old, me, my mom, my sister moved to Jackson. And as, coming up in Jackson Public Schools, I wasn't sure. I was a janitor, 14, 15. I used to just, make like little cash money just to bring home to my mom. And then I was a roofer. And then my mom was very upset with me because my skin was turning even darker, and she said that I was just so unattractive. So when she killed my spirit and all, I always knew I was good in the kitchen because I used to cook for my sister and my cousins and all, my grandmother and my mom, and everybody loved all the creations that I did. So I just said, you know what, I'm going for it, and I started my first job at Outback Steakhouse on I-55, and I learned that I was good with cooking, but I was awful when it comes down to that symphony kind of orchestra, what you need to have when, the expo is calling the grill man and the salad man. I wasn't there, I don't know. I was somewhere else. Maybe I was still on the roof. I don't know. And then I went to culinary school, and my grandmother told me to keep pushing. And then my culinary teacher told me that if I really want to be different, get out of the freestanding restaurants, go work for a hotel. So I started working for the Marriott Hotel when I was 21. It took me about 3 years before I got a promotion. And then I went on to be corporate chef. And then I went and lived in Anchorage, Alaska with Marriott.
Oh, wow.
And I learned how to make money. That's the most important rule past anything. But it taught me how to show up on time. It taught me how to talk to people. It taught me all of those etiquettes that you need in life, other than just being able to do a good plate of food.
Right, right. And I know, where are some of the other places that you've worked at around? I know you were at the Art Museum for a while. Yeah,
I was recently at the Art Museum. I resigned back in November, so I'm a full entrepreneur, owner of Nick Wallace Culinary. And I worked at Bravo's, so I have a good relationship with Jeff Good and Dan Blumenthal. I worked at Orchestra's Grill, if anybody can remember that. It was in Clinton.
Yeah.
It was a popular
I'm a Clinton girl.
Okay, all right. So Fernando's on Lake Harbor. I was there when it was the original Fernando's.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when I used to cut myself all the time because, my Spanish was poor. I guess I didn't listen in school. And a lot of the cooks and the chefs and all used to teach me a word. And then I'll come back and I'll get it wrong. And it was like, what you got to do, right? And I was like, okay. So I had to stay 2 hours later to cut all the fajita vegetables.
Oh.
So I went through torture for a year, but my Spanish is just a little bit poquito, right? Better. But yeah, I hope one of them is looking right now. They will just be laughing at me right now and say, get on the vegetables. But yeah.
Well, tell me, I know you give back to the community and you've been involved with Jackson Public Schools and giving back in that way. Tell us about that endeavor and all that's entailed with that.
Well, about a little over 2 years ago, Mary Hill, which is the food service director of Jackson Public Schools, I had just finished Cutthroat Kitchen. So this was 2014, 2015. She wanted me to come and give out awards for all her cafeteria staff members. They was at the Marriott. So I came up, sat on stage with her, and I gave out awards, and it was great. But as I was sitting on the stage, I was like, you know what? This is something I want to do. I want to get involved with them. I love all of the workers and all, and I tell them all to call themselves chefs. But because they are, they're really important, even for your local chef too. They know 500 names. Them kids' names, they know them all by heart.
Yeah.
They know if they're allergic to peanuts, whatever. So, that right there draw love because they care. They really, really, really care.
It takes a special heart.
Yeah. And a normal chef cannot do that. Because by tomorrow I'll probably forget your name. I'm just joking. That was a joke.
Not my name.
No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. I asked Mary Hill. I said, Mary Hill, how can I get involved with the schools? She said, I really need somebody to come in and teach different recipes and all. And I was like, perfect. So I started doing that for a while, and then I got involved with the Institute of Child Nutrition at Oxford. Mm-hmm. And from there, I got involved with Chef Mode School. So it was like ding, 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 and I created Creativity Kitchen, and it's a nonprofit that goes into schools. So I started with Blackburn Middle School, which I graduated from. That was the highlight of announcing the program. Mm-hmm. And then Mary Hill, me and her agreed that 3 months later, I'll be able to take over all 13 middle schools. So I did.
Oh, wow.
And I would actually go in every single week and do trainings every single week. And it was a lot of work. And then the menus changed every single month. Mm-hmm. And it was only featured on Monday just so the kids can just have a lot of energy for the rest of the week. So that pushed me to even going even further. I went to Gadsden, Alabama, trained about 60 schools there. And just recently, about 2 weeks ago, I just came back from Hazard, Kentucky.
Wow. Yeah. So you're spreading your knowledge all over the South, which is great.
Yeah.
And that's what we want to highlight is good stories of the South. So you're,
yep.
And I know you're a huge advocate for the local farmers, mm-hmm. and you use a lot of the farmers locally, and it just makes a huge difference. Yep. To I mean, it's the food tastes better. It's almost like
That's
different
right.
food than what you get at the grocery.
Yeah, I don't think, just thinking about food and all, it's not that hard to think about, It's not.
I think about it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as the preparation of
yeah,
it, it's not that hard. It's really, really simple. And that's my approach to anything that I cook. No matter if it's seafood or land animals, it doesn't matter, or roots, vegetables coming out the ground. Mm-hmm. I just take that approach and I just make it just super special. And I remember my past too. That's one of the things that keep pushing me, because my grandmother, if I turn my back on whatever I'm doing and don't put my 100 in, my grandmother, she is pretty strong. So I think about those, but my family is a pusher for me.
That's great. That's great. Well, so tell me what you're doing now. You mentioned a minute ago that you've got you've got your own business mm-hmm. going, and tell us what you got going on now.
Well, Nick Wallace Culinary is the business model. Creativity Kitchen is the nonprofit model that mm-hmm. I can give back and things. But the for-profit, at least everybody knows, it's something that you just really have to keep moving. And right now, mm-hmm. Me and my team is really focused on My Hands, Your Kitchen. And that gives me a way to come into people's homes or events, no matter if it's weddings or whatever it might be. And I come in and I put my spin on it. I speak, I talk, I bring gifts, and I come in and sometimes I do 6-7 course meals. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's buffet options, receptions, live cooking demonstrations. This Saturday I'll be at Jackson State for their crop drop, which they bring in like 50,000 pounds of sweet potatoes. So I'm really, really connected. So I'll do a sweet potato dish, which I'll announce soon. But that's what I do. I just did one recently out in Madison, and I like surprising people. And you got some people that, I love my local restaurants too, and everything is competitive. So it's not, we all do it. I'm just mobile with it, just almost like a food truck in a sense. And I think I really, really surprised them because they never did anything in the house. And then two, I'm bringing the level of just as a server, bringing it to your table in a fine restaurant. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
So, and I'm just thinking as you're talking about this, the holidays coming up, mm-hmm. I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful to have a great dinner party and not have to do the cooking? And you would come in and do that for them?
Yeah, we do everything too. We have everybody coming in from, whatever you need, we have the staff to do it. And we're all about bright smiles and big hearts. So that's our approach too. And we always thank people for letting them come into their home, their kitchen, mm-hmm. Because honestly, if I wasn't a chef, for somebody coming into your home and kind of taking over and giving you the experience and you don't have to do anything, it's really, really a lot of appreciation that's involved with it.
Oh yeah, that sounds wonderful to me. Mm-hmm. And you've got, this is another thing you're doing. He's got his own spice blend that, what, I'm trying to...
It's Nick's 26.
Uh-huh.
It's a spice blend that has 26 spices. And I didn't do 12, 13. I wanted to do 26. And it was just so funny. One of my friends, we were sitting by the fire pit one day, and this was 4 years ago, I think. And it was in the fall time because I love the fall. And we're sitting there around the fire pit, we're roasting marshmallows and peanuts and all, and it was a great time. And he just loved 26 and my name together. And it just spoke to me. So I started blending, and took about 10 different batches before I got it right. But it has everything from marjoram to ginger to allspice to garlic to cumin, coriander, fennel, nutmeg. I mean, everything is in here. And the way I explain this to people is my personality in a bottle. Mm-hmm. It's my personality in a bottle completely. And I have cooked everything from eggs to fish to just the veggies to whatever you want to do. Savory cobblers, casseroles, whatever you want to do. Nick's 26 is great, and if you ever wanted to purchase it, you can go to nickwallaceculinary.com to find it.
Okay, and that's where they also can find if they want to have you come for an event or anything.
Yes, and then too, just the only retail store that I'm in is Mississippi Grills in Ridgeland. Very soon, I'm working on a cookbook, so I'll be announcing that very soon. And then we'll have a big push with this and other stuff with Nick Wallace.
Oh, I'm excited about a cookbook. Yep. Hopefully it'll be easy for me to follow.
It will.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today, and we're just so fortunate to have people like Chef Nick Wallace in our communities and giving back, and I really appreciate it. And what?
I just want to tell you, I have two gifts for you. I have a card, and I have a bottle of seasoning for you to take home.
Thank you. You are so sweet.
All the team at Nick Wallace Culinary just want to thank you for doing this, and we appreciate it. And if you don't get gifts every time you go live, you better. I'll just set the stage.
Okay,
so you know.
Let's see who have I got coming up.
Yeah.
Take note. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
You are so sweet. Thank you so much. And I do want to mention my sponsors before we leave. We couldn't do it with our sponsors, so we're so appreciative. Posh Maternity on Main Street. Market Street in FLowood. Cute maternity clothes. She has like things for special occasions and everyday things that can carry you through afterwards. Great place to go shop. There's not a lot of places to shop for maternity clothes in this area. His-n-Hurzz.com. I've got it in the, you have to check the spelling. It's they have a website, and they also have a kiosk at the outlet malls. Her side has the Cindy products and lip scents. She's got great head wraps. His side has all the sports fanatic stuff. Or who's your team?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Steelers.
I'm a Steelers fan. People say, like, what is that connection?
Where did you?
Yeah. I'm a Steelers fan, so no, I'm not explaining that at all.
Oh.
So just know that Steelers, Saints, Cowboys. I'm not explaining myself. I'm a Steelers fan.
Well, I've always been Saints. I've grown up Saints, but now that I'm Mississippi State, and now that Dak went to Cowboys, I had to trade in my Fleur-de-Lis for Stars, and
there you go.
And if he gets traded, I'm just a Dak fan at this point. But anyway, check out His-n-Hurzz.com. Also, my last sponsor I want to mention is Winstead's Men's Clothing in the Brick Streets in Clinton on Jefferson Street. My husband absolutely loves the Davis. Winstead owns it. He loves all of the things Davis picks out. He's got a good range of nicer clothes, and if you've got a man in your life, it's a great place to go shop for them. Take them there. But we want to thank all of our sponsors, and thank you, Nick.
Thank you.
And so we'll be seeing you around the town.